for those of you who haven't been watching last time, we could do a little explanation of your characters. And as you can see next to me, there is still a position vacant. If anyone wants to join, you're still allowed. It's very easy with this system to just add someone in. So, we have someone here we've only seen in the character creation, which is Catalea Zeno. Yeah, you. Yeah. Come on and tell us something about your kind of, well, maybe a little bit scary character.
Okay. So do you want me to also include like my playbook and what department I'm heading up?
Yes.
Or okay.
Well, you're not the head of that department.
Well, in the department, yeah.
Yeah.
But I play Catalea Zeno. She is out of the Albatross playbook, which is really fun. Department of Mind Bending. And for all intents and purposes, you can just basically call her the female Gilderoy Lockhart. She is somebody who is very adept at mind charms and mind spells and warping perception to basically just kind of like attach herself to important projects or important research or basically anything that is like high class, highbrow in magical society. You've seen her brushing elbows with these people. But how she got there, only she knows. Most people are always kind of like, always gets a little fuzzy as to how she just happened to show up. But yeah, she's relatively average height, probably like 5'7" or so, a little bit.
She's bigger than me. God.
She's like a bit like, she's like grand, but like not so much. So it's like, yes, she has this air about her that she carries herself very much in a kind of like regal and important way, but tries almost too hard in a bit to like kind of be like the cool person. So it's like, if she's cool on one end, nobody will really suspect that she may possibly be a con artist or something along the lines of that. But yeah, that's
she's fun. I don't hear her.
That's her. Brown skin, dark black hair, big glasses, dresses very fancy, large, ornate, embroidered robes that have lots of like gold and silk that's all intermade in embroidered in her robes. So there. Yeah, that's my girl.
I haven't heard a lot of it because my sound suddenly decided not to work, but it's back. But that's okay, I know your character.
Yeah.
Let's go to Russ, her character, Philippa Wilson.
So my character's Philippa Wilson. She's tired is probably the easiest way of describing her. She's basically she's got the workhorse character trait, and she basically is possibly the only sane member of the Department of Paraveterinary Medicine. The rest of them are all off making weird fucking hybrid snake, lizard, crocodile, spider abominations, and she's just there trying to keep things together and maybe have a slightly lower death count than the rest of the previous years. But it's not going well. So she's just there and she's battling her way through all of that. She's sort of like mid to late 20s, but looks a lot older just because the stress of dealing with all of this crazy stuff. I think too she's still got one black eye after an incident involving some magpies a couple of sessions ago.
Yeah, you have a black eye, not as in a black eye as in someone punched you in the eye, no. actually the entire eye is just black.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pitch black.
Yeah.
No
So
more
she's
white, pitch black.
dealing with all of that. Because the hospital wing's a little bit terrifying. Not gonna lie. And yeah, I suppose tired is really just the best way of explaining her. She's got a lot of stuff going on. There's a bunch of missing animals in her department. She's pretty much just like lives in a like flannelette shirt and jeans whilst trying to deal with all of this stuff, because when you deal with animals, there's no point getting dressed up. And yeah, I'm pretty sure her classroom's alive. The walls are moving and making noises that they probably shouldn't be. So, that's Philippa. She's... yeah.
Yeah, she is the workhorse playbook, by the way.
Yeah.
Which-
And...
Actually explains itself.
pretty much, yeah.
And then, last but not least, we have our hardest work, sorry, staff member Jonas Smith.
You alright? How's it going? Aye. So, I've been at Pigsmoke for around about 8 years. I was almost here when it started. I don't really want to work anywhere else because I've got it really easy here. It's not a problem. I only teach currently once a week, even though we've got a ginormous influx of students. It's fantastic. I get to teach once a week. I get the students to do all of my research afterwards, and I get paid lodgings, food and drink, and lots of coffee. So everything really is absolutely fantastic. I do not particularly like the situation that we're in just now because I find myself having to actually give a damn. The upshot of it is that it looks like one of my students has predicted the end of my cushy lifestyle, and so I had to fill in some forms, and in doing so handed them through to one of the local administrators who burned the forms, which is the only thing that you should do with paperwork. And then I tried to ignore it, but it turned out it wasn't possible. I couldn't just sweep this one under the rock. I'm about 6 foot tall. I've got rather straight, long-ish, sticky up red hair. I wear tweed jackets, as is proper for an academic of my stature. I wear rather beige looking trousers and brown shoes. I don't particularly like the students very much, but I'm very good friends with my colleagues.
Yes, and we don't know for certain when and or if he is coming, but otherwise we also have Dr. Victor Evans, played by Majin Starlord. He went to a convention today, so he did not know what time he would be back, if he would come back on time at all. But we have 3 players, so we can play. Last session, we left 3 of you, except for Cataleo, in the library. You were trying to discover what the amulet that Professor Adolf Sadau, the head of Artifacts and Relics, was wearing, and what it exactly was. You've already did the rolls last time. Philippa rolled a 9, Smith rolled a 10, and Evans rolled a 7, which in total gives you answers to all the questions you can ask. And yes, there's a cat behind my head.
I'm just like, hey! Hello, cutie! Hi, precious!
She had her 5 minutes of fame. Okay. So, the questions that you have are, what's the history here? Who do I know who might have a vested interest in this? What sort of people that I don't know might have a vested interest in this? What here is not as it appears to be? What could I use this for? Let's start with Philippa. You have 1 question. Which one do you want to ask?
What could the people who I don't know... Sorry, this is really awkward. I want to know about the people, like, who would I go to find the answers, like, that question. Which is... The phrasing of it, my brain has just gone, no.
You do have the basic moves, right?
Oh, I did have that open, sorry. I just need to find it in the 5 million tabs I have open.
It's on tab 5,000,001.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the first move immediately on top of the players of the basic moves list, so not hard to find.
But yeah, it was basically the question about who do I not know that could answer the question, I guess.
Well, it is common knowledge that ever since magic came known in this world, that there are people that already were being a little bit like the over the edge goth things, so that trying to live like cultists, and those people would like to have this item.
Okay.
Cool. Well, Smith is not here at the moment. Smith is, but Evans isn't. But Smith, you had a 10, so you were allowed to ask 3 questions. So which questions do you want to know?
I will go last and sweep up the remainder, because that otherwise would be like work and I'd have to think very carefully about what it was. I will be quite happy to come in at the end, if that's possible.
Well, the problem is one of the questions that isn't is by Evans. Who isn't
okay.
Here.
Right then. So give me just 1 second, and I will address one more technical. I will just do that. There we go. Okay, so the questions that I would like to address. Just give me 1 second, and I'll bring them up again. Can you remind me again of the ones that are remaining?
All but what sort of people that I don't know might have a vested interest in this.
Okay,
Which is the 3rd question of the list.
Right, I'm just bringing up the question of the list. Give me a second. So, can I find out who stands to... Is that the best interest one? Who stands to benefit from it?
Yeah. Who do you know might have a vested interest in this?
Yeah, that's the one that's already been asked.
No, that one hasn't been asked.
Okay, I would like to know who's going to benefit from this.
This is the one you don't know that might have a vested interest in this. The one you might know, the one you know that might have a vested interest in this is pretty logical. It's Dr. Evans and his entire department, because it is an artifact.
Okay, so it's the artifact that around Sadhu's neck.
Yeah, that's what you were.
And because of that, they've done something which they thought was probably a good thing. They think it was probably a good thing, but it's turned out that it's gone wrong. And they don't want to be blamed for it, but they are...
You're looking too far into this.
I'm looking too far into it, okay.
Yeah.
I'll not go in. What could... So what is here that doesn't appear... What is not as it appears to be?
Well, Adolf Sado, the one who is wearing this... it's like he is 2 different beings, because once you hear him having like an echoey voice, as in 2 voices going over each other, and the other time he has his normal German for French accent.
Okay, yeah, we've noticed that. I get one more.
Yeah.
How could I benefit from it? I guess that's what I could use this for, isn't it? It's what is it? What could I use this for? Is that something that is about my personal motivations or my department, maybe?
Well, it's just what could I use this for?
Yeah,
so
what could I use it for?
It depends on what the thing is, because you are looking for answers to the amulets that Adolf Sada was wearing.
So we don't know what it does. So we don't know how I could use it.
That's what you were looking for, looking up in the library. And I am going to give you the last question, because even though Evans isn't here, he would have given you the answer or found it. What you could use this for is, you find out that this amulet that he's wearing is actually a device that holds stuff in it. And that's with the answer of what's the history here. It's a containment device created to hold the darkest of darkness.
Okay. The darkest of darkness.
Yes.
The darkest of darkness. So, when it comes to thinking about what I could use it for, I mean, what I could use it for would be not to end up with the school being destroyed.
What could I use this for is the amulet is used to stop evil, but never fully tested if it will work forever.
And so, okay.
So now you have the answers. We are gonna go to our Department of Mindbending, Cataleo Zeno. You, of course, always try to get the scoop of everything. I bet. That's kind of your thing. So, you did find out that a group of faculty members are trying to find something that might stop the end of the school.
Well, I mean, I have to be a part of this now. Like, if it's... The school is very well known, and everybody here knows that we're top flight. We're the best at what it is. So I'm going to try my damnedest to kind of weasel my way on this project as well too, because if we're going to save the school, this is going to go down in history, and there's no way I'm not going to be in the history books.
No. But you have heard that they went to the library to get more information about the thing that they are trying to stop.
Okay.
What are you going to do with this information, and of course?
And I'm gonna head down to the library too. Well, first I'm gonna see if I can get one of my students, someone that relatively respects me, or someone else to kind of go check into the library and see if they're there. Because they could be there, but I'm not just gonna show up in the library and they possibly not be there. I want to make sure that they're there and that people see that I'm there with them.
Let's see. I believe there are enough students walking around. Let's see, what moves did you have? You have Reflected Glory and Illusionist. Well, the Illusionist only changes the perception of someone. So your Albatross move was Reflected Glory. You don't really have a move, but I said that the last time to the rest of them, there is a normal basic move, as in cast a spell, that you can always use. And when it is if the type of magic you're working is outside your department area of expertise, roll at disadvantage, but you're trying to change someone's mind to do something for you, so it's your department. So you may just roll that. You will...
Rolling sorcery?
No, you roll 2d6s. If it was disadvantage, you rolled 3, but it's normal roll, so...
Okay. Am I adding anything to it? Am I adding sorcery?
Yeah.
Flat roll.
Sorcery.
Okay. Ooh, very nice. That's an 11.
Oh, that's a full success. On a hit, the magic works and the problem is solved. On a 10 plus, choose one unintended consequence. So on your move, on the basic move sheets, you see the cast a spell. You may choose one of those underneath it.
Okay. I'll do the magic is short-lived or otherwise temporary.
Okay. You just take one of the just a random student because you don't really care.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just comes. Yes.
Do me a favor. Thank you first, by the way. I appreciate it. And I just undecidedly a little bit pat their cheek. Thank you. As I'm casting this over them. And I just look directly into their eyes and I go, I need you to find Professor Philippa Wilson and Dr. Smith. I heard they were in the library, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to show up there unless they are. So, I need you to go there and then report back to me and see if they actually are in the library before I show my face. Thank you. And I just pat it again.
I will. And you see the kid walking like a zombie towards the library. Inside the library.
Hard to find these days.
Inside the library, you see that Dr. Evans is pushing his nose way too far in the book because it's about an artifact, and he's completely diving into it. But the other two, you see a kid walking like a zombie inside, looks at Smith, looks at Philippa, snaps out of it. What? Why am I in a library? How do you don't even like studying? I'm out of here. And he walks out. You see him walk out.
Son of a bitch. All right. I'm gonna have to work on that. I didn't have my coffee this morning, that's why. All right, well, I'm just gonna try to peek, and I'm just you know what, forget it, never mind. I can just warp everyone's minds if it doesn't work out the way it needs to be, and I just walk in. Ornate robes just flowing but billowing behind me. You just see as they fall behind me and the click of my boots on the tile.
You walk away with great pizzazz. And yeah, you walk into the library and you see them.
Hey, Philippa, look at this. This one says here that if it's like that, but it's like this, then that's going to happen. This book here looks promising.
Yeah, does indeed.
Oh,
Interesting.
Lovely to meet all of you here in the library today.
Catalina, hello.
Hey.
Catalina.
How are you?
Cat. Can we call you Cat?
Yes, please. I actually prefer it. Cat.
You don't come in the library very much. Having said that, neither do I. So I wouldn't know if you were here or not.
I tend to make my mark, show up around whenever I feel the need is necessary. I see that you are looking over a book. Ah, yes. Artifacts of the Unknown. I know that one. I had a relatively very close relationship with the author. And I'm going to use my move Reflected Glory to have my name appear in the by author of the book that they're looking at.
Let's see. Does it work like that?
I hope it does.
Cheeky with it,
when you
just a
take
little
credit
bit.
for or claim association with something which has nothing to do with you, any player character directly involved with a thing can mark a burnout box to stop you. If they don't, so you may choose if you want to stop this or not.
Oh, we're just looking at the book.
Yeah.
If they don't, roll charisma. So Sam, you need to roll charisma. The cat.
Aha, okay. That's actually not bad. Charisma is my best size. That's an 8.
On a hit, people believe you played a role in or close to or are otherwise connected to the thing. On a 10 plus, choose 2. On a 7 to 9, choose 1.
Let's see. I'm gonna leverage my new reputation into an advantage on a single purchase roll. That may come in handy at some point. Actually, oh no, I'm gonna retcon that. People believe that I played a major role in the thing. That's what I'm gonna use. Yeah.
Philippa and Jonas, you two suddenly feel a tingling in your head. And remember that in that book you were both reading, you saw her name in a very big way.
Oh. It's good that you're here, Kat. Maybe you can explain some of this to us. We're a little bit confused about how this artifact works.
Very intriguing. Do you have it on you?
No, it's currently around the neck of Evans's department head.
Okay.
It seems a little difficult to place our hands on.
Professor Sadhu has it. You don't happen to have an in with Professor Sadhu, do you?
Please, darling, you're speaking to me. Of course I do.
Absolutely fantastic. I just thought that since you were so well connected with the nature of this, I'm looking at the book a little bit confused, but nevertheless I turn it over and look at the front, and then it's like is it with thanks to, or are you a sub-author, or what is it? Like, are you
Sub-author?
Okay.
Sub-author.
In a major way. So just think of the most biggest way someone could help in this, and that's where her name is. That's what you think, at least.
I mean,
Right. That's what it looks like.
You're second author in this. This is fantastic. So did you actually write the chapter on this containment device which contains the darkest of darkness? Because I'm kind of worried about that.
So, no, I did a little bit of help with the research in that chapter, but the chapter that I worked on actually was kind of like the origins of where it came from, in what ways it's tied in that relation, not exactly what it is in that realm. It's where it was found, kind of more of like the archaeology aspect of it, where it was found, the location, things of that nature.
It's talking about the darkest of darknesses, and it's in an amulet. I don't know if that maybe strikes anybody else as being a little bit of a liability. But you might just lose it down the couch, and there you've lost it, and then suddenly a small child comes along and picks up the amulet and goes, "Look, Daddy, what have I found?" And they twist it in a particular way and release the darkest of darkness upon the world. It's happened here at Pigsmoke. One of our students, a centaur, has predicted that this amulet is going to bring the destruction to Pigsmoke, and I lower my voice a little bit just at that point because I don't want to kind of.
I think at that point you kind of see Kat's face, like her eyes kind of get big for a second, and then she try to immediately play it off as cool because like she knows that centaurs have like a 99.9 to 100% success rate in predictions. So she's like, oh wait, this may possibly be serious.
Aye.
You said a centaur.
I think Philip is just enjoying the fact that the library is very, very quiet and there's nothing crawling or creeping or like, it's just like a peaceful, chill place. Up until this point. Yeah. So, and she's kind of like, paying a little bit of attention and vaguely concerned about the fact that like this amulet could bring about the end of the school. But also just enjoying the serenity of the place.
Philippa, Evans, he's lost in a book again. Maybe we could get Kat to help us. She knows all about this stuff.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'd love to.
Also, too, probably the less Evans has to do with it, the less he'll be like implicated in whatever happens with the end of the school.
Yeah, this is kind of his territory. Magical artifacts. Alright, so... No, not exactly. Alright, so we shall go forward with this. We need to figure out what exactly darkness of darkness means. And like... she's like twiddling like in her hand. It's almost like those oh my god, I can't remember, like those meditative like metal balls that are just like consistently like as she's like mulling over it's like long like opalescent painted fingernails that are just like turning it over in her head, just trying to find where next with this. She came in just trying to be flashy, and now she's kind of deep into shit. So she's got to figure out what exactly it is that needs to be done next that can continue on this lie.
We've already tried to talk to the dean, and he was too busy being scared about squirrels. Unless the darkness is a squirrel, I'm not sure how that's relevant or going to help us. We talked to the heads of the department.
Squirrels.
Aye, he was staring at the trees. I just assumed it was squirrels that he was staring. Aye, anyway, so the guy, he's off his rocker. I don't know how he's managed to keep going for as long as he has, but he looks terrible. But anyway, the dean doesn't want to help us. The heads of department don't want to help us, and well, quite frankly, Sadhu's in it anyway. What I'm thinking is, maybe if we solve this, we might be recognised as the saviours of the school, and maybe we'll get our teaching load lightened. That would be pretty good. I'd be happy with that. Save the school, don't teach us much. That, to me, sounds like a good idea. Plus, we get to keep our jobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see where that could be something. Yeah, the dean is an absent-minded airhead for the most part, but we could make that work.
Yeah. We probably should. We also really need like the schools. We need the wards and around the school to remain in place, because you do not want to know what people have been breeding in my department, and if they got into the broader world, it would be very bad.
Yeah,
Philippa.
I'm not a big fan of that crocodile spider thing you have going on over there. It seems a bit aggressive and a bit much for me. But
Philippa.
saving the school.
Aye. Just when you mentioned those big crocodile-headed spider things there, Kat, it gave me a thought of said beastie or one a lot like it actually accosting Sadhu, pinning him to the ground for long enough that we could actually maybe get the amulet off him. Like, we've already tried, and I almost broke my hand, I think, trying to get it off him or something. It didn't happen easily, but maybe if he's actually unconscious, it might break the connection with him, and we could take the amulet and maybe examine it. Well, Evans would be able to do that.
Dr. Smith, just kind of like snap the balls, like both, and they kind of like blend in together, and I stick them back in my pocket. Maybe endangering the life of a student is not exactly the best in this aspect, especially if it's something like wanting to save the school. Perhaps you need someone who's rather, I don't know, adept with the magic of the mind. Maybe we can just simply ask the student to hand over the amulet. It's a suggestion, though.
Well, aye, the head of department rather than the student directly, but who knows? Yes, I would suspect that the principle of not actually murdering anybody else, and I look kind of sheepishly a bit at Philippa at that point, might not be a terrible thing. Yeah, I mean, the wider world doesn't know that we're here, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we should have fewer people leaving at the end of semester than going out, I suppose. Or sometimes that's tempting. Well, what about if we just knocked him unconscious with a big beastie? What have you got? Anything venomous or anything like that might just send him to sleep?
Alphabetically or numerically? Because we have a
mind
list.
Control or a beastie or anything. Can we knock him out? Can we just make him unconscious?
There are plenty of things in my department that could potentially knock somebody out. What kind of knocking out would you prefer? The chemical kind? The physical kind?
I mean, just not the deadly kind, I suppose.
See, now that narrows our list considerably.
I drag a chair loudly across the floor and set it down directly at the table with them and just kind of flick my cloak out and sit down and go, or you can just ask someone who works in the Department of Mind Bending, and we don't have to unleash any terrifying hybrid creatures on the campus or anyone here. Staff included.
I mean, we could try the mind-bending thing, and then if that doesn't work, we can unleash the beast, so to speak.
You are very, very hell-bent on bringing this beast out. All right. So we'll try my way first, and then we can possibly discuss something else outside of terrifying mythical creatures.
So, you're from... yeah, do you know anybody from that department? Or are you from that department?
I slam the book shut right in front of you and get up.
I was waiting for that. I was actually waiting for that.
Slam the book shut and just step out, knock the chair over in the midst of it, and flick my cloak out, and leave.
I look at Philippa and go, do you think she works in the Department of Mind Bending?
Dunno. It's a mystery. She
if
seems
anyone
stressed.
would know this, it's Jonas Smith. She started a year after you started.
So Jonas is like, I think she probably does. Well, that's handy then, isn't it? Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go chat to her and see if maybe she will help us.
I'm loving this.
Did you see where she went?
Perfect. You can absolutely hear the click of my heels as I'm walking to my office. I walk with a presence, for sure.
Well, she seems to be, and I'll get to the door and watch you as you're walking across. But you're heading towards the Department of Artifacts and Relics, aren't you?
Correct.
So I was like, it's no wonder she's an author in that book. Look, she's heading. I thought she said that she was working in the Department of Mindbending, but she's off to the Department of Relics. I don't know. I'm confused. But let's catch her up anyway.
Yeah.
Did you get any
Philip is
coffee?
mostly just staring at her like heels slightly jealously. Like at the ability to just like glide along, clicking away in these heels.
By the time you get to the door, I'm like standing outside with a coffee. It's like casually sipping it.
What kind of coffee did you ask? Because, you know.
Well, technically it's not a coffee because caffeine is can stunt your growth and is relatively like really bad for you. So instead it's like chai tea latte with oat milk because dairy does not do well with her, and like a shot of espresso for an extra pick-me-up, which is Sam's actual coffee order. Exactly what she's drinking, yeah.
Okay. So you guys see her standing there with her coffee. And I think you do have a little bit of a scolding look towards one of these colleagues. Especially Jonas, I think.
Such a slacker.
So, we gotta get up, and you're standing there at the top of the building, or the front entrance of the building. You work in the Department of Mindbending, but this
Correct.
isn't the Department of Mindbending. This is the Department of Artifacts and Relics.
Well, this is what happens when you just stay in your quarters and don't necessarily look elsewhere. Follow me. And I kind of like gesture into the door. Follow me in.
Okay.
And I kind of like take you down some twists and turns of the Department of Artifacts and Relics until we get to a wall. It has a painting on it, and the painting itself just looks like a regular everyday painting. But then I get ready and I go, if you just walk in, nothing weird will happen, I promise. I'm going through first. And I just disappear through the picture. The picture itself is kind of like a door into the Department of Mindbending.
Aw. That's awesome.
Yeah. That is really cool.
It's easier to deceive if we hide the office in a place where most people don't necessarily look, but also already has a lot of very weird and intricate things within itself.
Oh, imagine
So our department sits here.
how easy you could hide from the students if you had one of these and a step through the picture.
Yeah.
That's the point.
When you
exactly.
step through that picture, you again feel a kind of a weird tingling in your head. No, you not Cat, but he feels a strange tingling in his head, and when you look back, you just see the hallway.
That's my favorite part. Follow me. As I like walk back to my office while also like, hello, good to see you, to like other people in the department that are also in there as well. And I take them into my office.
Does,
Your office is also is part of your classroom, I would say, or
Correct.
next to it. How does it look?
So it is very like it's got a bunch of, instead of just like the plain concrete walls, there's lots of like velvet and like velour that are like hanging up around the walls, a bunch of fairy lights and plants and artwork. Instead of a group of desks, it's all beanbag chairs, like really comfortable beanbag chairs that are like sitting around in a circle around like this massive right in front of my desk, and a teaching like podium or whatever, and like a chalkboard. The chalkboard, whatever way you look at it, it's different notes depending on what angle that you're looking at it. And then right behind is like a massive like bookcase. There's pictures of me with a bunch of other like really prominent people in magic and society as well around. There's a really massive display of all of my pedigrees and degrees and certificates and stuff like right behind me, with this massive like wraparound desk and a really big comfy leather bound chair. And I just kind of like sit down at it and like kick my feet up across and go, so tell me what it is that you know now. Please have a seat. Make yourselves comfortable. Can I get you anything?
I think I'm fine, but thank you, Kat. Philip is kind of warily glancing around the room. Nice degrees. Very fancy.
Thank you.
How many of these degrees are real?
I think out of the like maybe like 7 or 11, 11 that's on the wall, 4 of them are real. Like my actual college and teaching degrees and stuff like that, with like my mind bending stuff, obviously, like mind warping, but other than that, it's, and they all change depending on where you look at them, or depending on like what day or who comes in. They all can change into different things as however I need them to.
When did you go to the London School of Economics?
Oh, that was back in 03. Long time ago. I was a bit confused in relation to what it was exactly that I wanted to do. Mind powers aren't as fun in economics as I thought it would be, so I left the stock brokerage that I was there with for a time, and figured that teaching was more my passion.
Oh, you certainly like to keep busy.
Yeah.
Idle hands are a devil's plaything.
No. Idle hands are relaxed hands, and at one with the world. They're peaceful and relaxing and don't have to put up with students coming in, giving us all of the terrible things that they say about their homework. It was a student, that you asked about what was happening. I just thought I'd regale you with the facts of what's happened this past few days. basically, we have actually tried to extract this particular amulet for further examination, but we failed. We were having a coffee, and Sadhu came in. Professor Sadhu came in. We tried to grab it off him, but it was like it was stuck to his body. It was like it was so firmly in place that there was a giant would have had to have ripped it off, or maybe just taken his head off and taken it that way, turned him upside down, giving him a shake. But we couldn't get it off him. We tried so hard to actually move this thing, and it would not budge. What else happened, Philippa? You got a black eye. How'd that happen?
Magpies, surprisingly enough.
Those birds are assholes.
They really are. I don't... Well, actually, technically, I guess it was the hospital wing that caused this. The magpies were more over.
Yeah,
inside
the hospital wing has done it.
That's like the #1 rule here. Hospital wing, unless you are absolutely dying. And then in that case, it's not very much so guaranteed that you will make it out of there.
Yes, as I'm constantly reminded.
Yeah. You are still hurt, right, Jonas? You still marked one...
Yes, one heart.
Yeah. Because remember, if you would ever get a second one, you have to go to the hospital wing.
Thanks.
Aye, and it was because of trying to get this thing off of...
You clearly see quite a big bump on the back of Jonas's head.
That looks rather painful.
Aye. This is the attempt of trying to get that amulet. That's what happened.
Was done.
Well, I slipped. But, I mean, that was only because I was exerting so much force that I slipped. I tell you, it's got hold of him. It's got hold of Sadhu. 1 minute he's talking like he's always talked, and the next minute he's got this kind of voice. I can't remember exactly, but it was very not him.
Yes, it does seem rather out of character for him.
That's interesting. I wonder if it's not 100% my specialty. However, maybe I have books in my own personal library collection that can delve a little bit deeper into enchanted artifacts or possessions or something along the lines of that. It's worth a shot if we're trying to find a bit more information in either how this works or how we can remove it safely for both the Dean as well as ourselves.
Aye. That sounds good.
Yeah. It does sound most helpful.
I had an idea that
Please
maybe we
enlighten
need to...
me.
Well, the student, right, the centaur, Albert McQuinney, he says that he's been having this foresight for about 3 months. So he didn't even bother telling us about it, but he says he was otherwise engaged over the holidays. But he does say it has multiple endings, but each of them are gruesome. And I just wondered, well, maybe we could find something in the library that would actually match the description of the ending that he's foreseen, which could be some sort of black smoke or something descending upon the institution and completely covering it up and demolishing it. I think that's kind of the gist of what he was on. So maybe I could, or rather, I could get my students. I'll give them an extra credit assignment, and they could go and do some research for me. That would work all right.
Above board, really quick. I've attached myself to a lot of bullshit and also a lot of really good, interesting shit over the course of my career. Would I be able to? Is there like a role I can make that would be like a history check or something that I can like recall if there's anything that I've tied myself to that is remotely close to anything of which they're speaking of, like anything within foresight or prophecies with different endings, or trying to like compare prophecies, or if there's anything that's been like said or foretold like this before.
I would say, because it's a problem that you try to fix, that it is a form of casting a spell, that you just cast a spell to try and figure out something you did. So I would say if you roll cast a spell, you might be able to do something like that. And
okay,
it's outside of your department's area of expertise.
So it's with disadvantage.
Yes, so roll 3 and take the lowest 2.
Okay. Yeah, that was poop. Let me see.
I hope they were dice, but
that was dice. Okay, so it is a 6.
6.
Yeah, 6.
You're trying to because it's not working.
That's not a hit at all.
Nope. So you're trying to look in your book closet on your desk, and you do see a book lying open on your desk. And on the page it's open. It says, "I remember."
I remember what? Well, that's for another day, and I close it.
And when you close the book, you see it's the book about breaking down kits and how to build them back up.
I roll my shoulders back a bit and take the book, and from my necklace, I take my necklace off. It's got a key that's around it, and I go to the very bottom of my desk and open it up, put the book in there, kind of like settle and seal myself for a bit, and then close it and lock it, and put the key back around my neck, and stuff it back down in my robes.
Okay, Kat.
What was that? Russ?
You okay, Kat? You seem a little bit...
I am fine. Just a little bit disturbed about these foresights and foreshadowing. We should probably attempt to... I don't think I have anything here, so maybe back to the library is best for us. Now, come on. And she kind of just like grabs her stuff and kind of like ushers y'all out of her office and classroom.
This place is awesome.
Suddenly, you all hear boing. Students, you may go home. Have a nice weekend.
Oh yay, it's Friday. When did it get to be Friday?
Wow.
I swore it was only Monday.
I wasn't paying attention, but hey, that's it.
Shocker.
Weekend's here. We've got the place to ourselves.
Favorite time of the week.
I am gonna go to the library, and I'm gonna find the kids that don't get to go home for the weekend. If the types, the ones that don't get home when they everybody else is going home, and they all look a bit sad. I'm gonna go to wherever they're hanging out, like the common room. That's where I'm gonna go to one of the students' common rooms, and I'm gonna say to them, assuming there's still a few in, right? There's going to be a few students that don't get to go home at the weekends. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say there is a small amount of children that have, because it is a college, an American college, so they might have a student houses on campus where they stay. Some of them live close enough that they can go home. But as soon as you walk out of the classroom of Kat and through the hallway, you went back through the painting. You again feel a little tingling in your head, and you look around and you think, where was I? You still remember the conversation you had with Kat. You still remember where you've talked about. But you don't remember anything about the location where you were.
And I look around and I'm like, where's Evans? I'm in his place.
No, well, you are in the Department of Artifacts and Relics, but at a lower level.
Oh, you're like looking around, that's when Kat walks out of the picture and just smiles at your confusion. Just a little bit. He goes,
hi, Kat.
Hey.
Why?
You look a bit confused.
I am not inclined to think too much about it. I probably just had some sort of vision, I guess, and can't say that I was able to put my finger on that one. Sometimes the future can be like that. You know, it just has fleeting moments. It probably means I've not had enough sugar today, so maybe I'll get a coffee on the way past.
Sounds like a plan.
And it might sound like we could take a little break here now. It's almost now a little longer, I think.
Longer? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and around 1.5 hours, I would say, right?
All right. Yeah.
Cool.
So
yeah. I'm just like that. I'm just like, that's strange. I'm saying to myself, kind of internal monologue, kind of like. I look back, and I guess, Philippa, you're there as well.
You see
Yeah.
If you look back, you see the painting again.
Philippa's also very confused, and she's just kind of staring up around, unsure as to like what's just happened.
Well, we've got things to figure out.
Aye.
To the library we go.
Yes.
I'll meet you there. I'm gonna get some help.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, flip after you.
With one last, like, suspicious look at Jonas, Philippa just heads off in the direction of the library.
Like, if it was like a TV show or whatever, it'd be like that last look back at Kat, and she just has like the biggest shit-eating grin on her face, and just like again flicks her cloak out and follows behind Philippa.
Nice shoes.
Thank you. They were a gift.
Sounds like a lovely gift.
Sounds like she mind-bended someone to give the shoes to her.
Hey! All right, like let's calm down. No, I would never. Absolutely not. Nah, not these boots. Another pair, but not these.
Why would you sully the boots with that kind of...
Yeah.
So you're going back to the library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the trip is not really something, but Kat, while you are walking, you feel you're being watched. And when you look at the location where you think you're being watched, you see someone behind a tree having like a blank but straight stare at you. And you recognize this person. You want me to tell who it is, or do you have an idea?
Oh no, I know exactly who it is. I kind of like settle myself up and puff my shoulders up and back, and I just, Mr. Grant, pleasure to see you again today. Please be safe this weekend.
No, it's not Mr. Grant. It's not
Mr. Grant. Ooh,
no.
Excuse me, then I don't know who it was.
It's Dr. Lane Montgomery.
Even worse, I would have rathered it be Grant.
I know.
Then retcon that, and I just.
Wait, it's not. It's let's see. It's not Lane Montgomery. It's Rebecca Wahlberg.
Oh.
Because Dr. Lane Montgomery does not know. It's Rebecca Wahlberg.
Professor Wahlberg. My pleasure. Is there anything I can help you with today?
You could
It's
come
like
clean.
a smile that never reaches her eyes.
You could just come clean.
I apologize. I'm not 100% sure what it
Oh, you
is
know
that
what you
you're
did.
speaking of. Now is not the time or the place. You kind of like see that demeanor drop, and her face gets really stern and stoic, and is like, now is not the time or the place. We have bigger concerns at this moment.
Yeah. Like outing you as the fraud you are.
Even if you did. And she kind of like lowers her voice down and like walks up very close to her, and it's like, even if you did, no one would believe you.
I'll find a way. Just you wait.
Good luck with that. Now, if you would, have we have anything else that we'd like to discuss in private? And kind of like straightens her cloak and her robe and kind of like stands back up again, crosses her hands in front of her. I mean, you can have our own private conversation later on at a different time, preferably maybe once the school grounds itself have cleared out.
They're clear.
Office of mine.
Are you trying to use your powers, or?
Oh, I'm trying to intimidate right now for a bit, just to like back down so I can go back to what we were doing. But
Let's see. I would say you are trying to smooth.
okay.
So roll
okay.
plus charisma.
Much better. Let's go. That is a 12. Charisma.
Okay. But I'm keeping my eye on you. I will talk to you later.
Don't look too hard, dear. People might get the wrong idea. And I just wink at her, kind of smarmy, and turn back over to Lipa. To the library, dear?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sounds good.
I apologize. Got distracted with something not really important. Again, after you.
Oh, thank you. Philippa, drags away from where she's been staring at some sort of weird-looking bird on the thing, and then just kind of hits in the direction of the library.
Well, you do pass the Department of Foresight, on your way towards the library. And that's where you were attacked by a magpie.
Yeah.
Are you still wearing a hat?
No. I got rid of the hat.
Are you wearing a hat, cat? Are you a cat with a hat?
And mess up my hair? Never. Clashes with my robes.
And I would say that because you are of the Department of Foresight, you will not wear a hat because you know about this.
I may have heard a couple of rumors here and there.
Yeah, you did, but I'm of course talking about our slacker.
I've walked kind of away from these two, and to wherever the student halls are, I'm walking up to the student halls, and I'm seeing that there's a bit of noise still going on. Most of the students have shipped out. Some are still leaving with their wheelie suitcases, and I see that there's still a few. They're sitting around the table, and they're playing. They're talking, they're reading, variously, in their common room, and I walk in, all big skinniness of me, with my red hair.
You do see a few children, a few non-human kids playing a game of humans and daily chores. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, but how humans are.
All right, everybody. I see that you've already managed to settle in.
Wait. This is a very important roll. Go for it.
You're not going to make it.
Kids roll. It's a 9. Oh, yeah. Sorry, kid. You do have to pay that mortgage.
I told you. Listen. I tell you what, guys, I've got something much better for you. It's a lot more interesting. You know how humans and mortgages are all about living a normal life? Well, everybody is here because we've got really amazing access to magical powers. And I think that while you're still here, I'd like to get you to help me in some of my research. And it's not any ordinary research, let me tell you. It's a dark magic. It's the destruction type of magic. How about that? Since you're the ones that are left, I figure, well, why not? I'll come to you. I'll talk to you about how the darkest recesses of magic work, and we'll give you access to one part of the library that maybe you don't normally get access to. How about that? You'll be doing some excellent work, and it's almost as exciting as what you're doing here with the mortgages.
Okay, I assume this is extra credit assignment.
Yes.
So roll plus charisma.
And what effect does my injury have on me, my heart?
Nothing in this way.
Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. I rolled 2 1s. So 4.
Experience on failed rolls?
Not here, no.
Not here? Okay.
So
no.
4.
The only way you get experience in this game is when you publish a academic paper, or when you give a lecture or seminar. By the way, you may still roll that because you have been teaching this week, even though you weren't with the group. So you still may roll teach,
Charisma,
which is
right?
with charisma.
Okay.
And what did you roll?
9.
Then we are going to have a short flashback. Because on a 7 or 9, you still mark experience, but one of your students will visit your office with a complication or a difficult question. If you don't sort them out, the resulting stress or complaints will cause you to mark a burnout box. The student that will visit you You've already named him. Yes. Oliver Grant
Perfect.
is coming to your office.
This is
Yo, Teach.
lovely. Mr. Grant,
Yeah.
how lovely it is to see you.
You know
May I
that that homework that you gave us?
That's the reading assignment.
Yeah, I don't feel like doing it.
Well, I mean, I can't tell you what you can and cannot do. The choice
Isn't that
is
the
yours.
whole idea of mind bending, that we can do that?
We can, but I would rather not. This is your education. You should want to take part in it as best as you can. What you do or what you don't do with the assignments in which you are given here at this school only reflect on you. There's not really much that can do, and we both know that that's relatively frowned upon.
Couldn't you just tell me what it says?
Well, this week's chapter was on illusions and how mind-bending, a lot of it comes with illusion to an extent. Understanding that sight and how it links into the brain and what exactly it sees and how it comprehends. See exactly my point there. You don't necessarily, you asked for what it said, and I'm telling you.
Isn't there like the same thing that we need to read, but with pictures, like a comic book or something?
I apologize. There's not exactly a movie that summarizes.
Oh yeah, is the movie version of that book here?
No, not necessarily. That there's a encompassing end of the year video right before finals that can be watched, but it doesn't necessarily cover everything. I showed that right before the end of the year. Still have some time. Until then, it is either you read the chapter yourself, you let me explain what the chapter speaks, or you can go to one of your peers and hopefully they've done the assignment themselves to help you. Mr.
Ooh,
Grant,
yeah,
no one is going to make you learn if you don't want to. That choice is on you and you alone.
Oh yeah, I could
We
make
both know
someone
what
else do it for
happens.
me.
We both know what happens when things like that are attempted, now don't we? And I kind of look at him very pointedly.
No, I don't. Please enlighten me. And he has a very smug look on his face.
Yeah, I think she gets one right back and goes, then it worked properly. We have nothing more to discuss. Now, like I said, you can hear me lecture on Chapter 7, you can read it yourself, or you can find your peers, Mr. Grant. If not, I will see you for the pop quiz next week. Hopefully you've done what you need to do in order to pass. We both know you could use a boost in that grade. Now, if we have nothing else to speak of here today, I do have to get ready for my next class, and I'm sure you have a class to get to yourself. You are dismissed.
I do have a class, but that's the class of Mr. Smith. He doesn't even really teach. I mean, come on.
Now, that is true. But regardless of the situation, it is still a class in which that you are, while you are matriculated here, are required to attend during said school hours. I am not responsible for you being caught sniffing in the hallways instead of what it is that you're supposed to do.
I guess I'll read. And he walks.
Have a good day, Oliver.
Yeah. Pubescent students. Gotta love them. And we go back to where we were. Let's see, what was it again that we all had? Oh yeah, you were trying to get these kids. There is an orc, a centaur, and a cyclops, and a gnome, and they all look at you with the 7 eyes, because the cyclops, 1 eye, so. And they're like, why do we want to do that?
Aye. It's almost as if as it came out my lips, I was actually thinking the same thing. In your situation where I could just sit back for the rest of the week and do absolutely nothing. Well, aye. And I'm a bit dejected and my shoulders slump. I just look at them and think, yeah, I going to let me have a look at your game then? And I sit down with them and I start like asking them about their game and where they are, because I'm just like at the point of just not really wanting to face the hassle of that at all. I'm just not interested in putting up the resistance, so I go and sit down and look at the game. What does that bit do over there? Yeah,
you can play the janitor.
And so I'm looking, so I'm sitting there going, you're a centaur, right?
Yeah.
Why are you not in my foresight class?
Because I am one of those few centaurs that doesn't have foresight.
Yeah. And then I'm just sort of looking at there, and I'm thinking that I'm looking around.
You
and
do
I'm just
have
going,
my brother in your class.
Aye, Albert.
Yeah.
Why? Where's he? Is he gone home?
Yeah, he's back home again. He's feeling a lot better.
So I'm sitting down and I'm looking around this common room and I go, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to go to the live. Oh. Right, listen, I'll level with yous. And you can do what you want with this information.
You don't have enough experience to level to your next rank in your job.
No, listen.
Oh, not in the game. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, out of the game that you're playing here, which what I'm thinking is that basically I need some help, right? I need some help. We're looking for something and we can only find it by looking at lots of books. The problem is if we don't find it, then we're going to end up having the whole of Pigsmoke disappearing around us. And I just like to appeal.
School?
Aye, okay. And I just get up at this point and I just push the chair behind me and I was going, these guys are, and I'm thinking to myself, these guys are great. I said, look, just study enough, all right? Make sure you pass. You'll make great academics. And I walk out the room.
Sure, man, Dr. Smith.
And I head to the library and I was like, it used to be so much easier to get them when they're actually concentrating in class and worried about actually passing. These guys are just can mumble on to myself as I'm walking down towards the library.
Okay, Philippa, what were you doing in this time? You were just going to the library together with Kat, or?
Yeah, I was. I was distracted while Kat was having a conversation with the like the lady who was threatening to expose her as a fraud. But I wasn't paying attention to that. There was a really cool looking bird over there, and it's been a while since I've just got to look at like friendly-ish animals. So I'm just like casually just bird watching, I guess.
In other words, Cat, you're lucky.
Again, you underestimate my powers, so just swipe.
I don't underestimate. I know.
Always about working smarter and not harder.
And yeah, well, you will get to the library again. We still see Dr. Evans there, dug in a book. And I think we are going to have a break here. Where we left off, you guys were in the library again. Or at least two of you were. One is still on his way because he took a detour. When you get in the library, you still see Dr. Evans in a corner with a bigger stack of books than he started out. What do you two want to do?
Do you think maybe we should like check on him, Kat? He seems like he's, really deeply into those books. Maybe he's found some more info?
He seems very into it right now, and I would hate to break his concentration. I think the more research that he can do, the better. Possibly just let him mull over it for a bit and comprehend and break down what he has. That's a very large mind with a lot of information stored in it. Maybe he just needs a moment.
Yeah. Fair. I guess we should start looking up. I wonder if we stop looking so much at the amulet and maybe try and find out what that, smoke creature, darkness thing is outside of it.
I think that's a great idea. Let me see. And I kind of, turn sharply on my heel and look over at the books. And I just kind of mull for a second. I'm like, let's see. They said the darkness of dark. And then I walk over to where are in enchantments, but more specifically dark enchantments, dark magic. And go over to that section and start trailing my finger down the spines of each ones and pulling what I think would help. And I kind of come back over to the table with 4 big dusty tomes and just drop them on the desk. And I go, all right, so I found these. This might be a good place to start, and then maybe if we find more information from these, we could find and go on from there. And I just kind of grab the first book off the top, open it up.
So you are going to delve deeper again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will too.
Then you may roll plus research.
Okay. At my best at. That's a 7, exactly.
Then you may ask one question, or instead of asking a question, you can choose to declare that you've discovered something relevant to your research. Start a new research topic on that subject. If the thing you studied is relevant to one of your research topics, you can fill in boxes on the research track instead of asking questions on a one-for-one basis. And you do need a research track for publishing, which makes you level, of course. Or gives you experience. But that's up to you.
I think the best question for right now probably is, what here is not as it appears to be? For me, at least, is probably the best question.
And let's see, what here is not what it's supposed to, what it's not as it appears to be. You're all trying to find out what the darkness is, of course. But you find out that the darkness is not something around the amulet. It's what's coming out of it. Because you already know it's a containment unit that can hold something. And apparently you saw the darkness that they saw was pouring out of it. So it's not that it appears to be hanging around it, it's pouring out of the amulet.
Out of it.
I believe I hear my cats fighting again, and I think I know which one it is.
Right, so it seems to be that the darkness is coming out of the amulet. We know the amulet itself is sort of containment vessel, or what exactly it is. So, what exactly would be within it that would allow it to emanate?
Maybe it's some kind of creature?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Do you happen to know of any creatures with this type of capability? I believe this is your department, your best forte, essentially.
Well, I mean, it could be. The problem with, like, smoke creatures in paraveterinary medicine is that it's very hard to treat something which is incorporeal. Because obviously they don't exist. However, there is actually, I believe, a section of the library that probably has what we're looking for. I know that there were a bunch of books on, like, animals with gaseous forms. Perhaps we could go and check those out and see if there's anything that would help us.
Yeah.
And Philippa kind of weaves her way through to a fairly, like, mangled section of the library. Like, the librarians hate the paraveterinary medicine students because their books never quite come back in, you know, pristine condition. I'm guessing. So, yeah, and Philippa's kind of casually just flicking through them, or flicking through the various areas, and, you know, there's the water elementals, and there's, you know, fire creatures, and
every book that you show, you point at water elements, you see the book dripping of water. Yeah. When you point at the fire element, you see a burning book.
Yeah.
Elementals are so messy.
Yeah. There's one that's just got blood dripping out of it randomly off a shelf, with a little tray under it to catch it. Just kind of casually just strolling my way through this section. There's a few, like, claw marks and a couple of books with big, like, chunks missing out of them. And eventually I find this way, and it's something like Dr. Frank Gibbons' Guide to Incorporeal Beings or something like that. And I grabbed that book off the shelf. Maybe this will help us.
Does mention incorporeal beings. This might be something that we should look into.
Mm-hmm.
and kind of go from there. Good.
Yeah. I guess we could take that over to the table and read it.
Yes. That seems like a good idea. And she kind of sits down next to you at the table and just kind of like peers over as you're reading through.
Yeah, and I flip the book open and just kind of casually
As soon as you try to open the book, it suddenly turns incorporeal for a second.
Oh, I forgot about that. That is so annoying. And I'm just like poking the book now, trying to get it to like reform into such a way that is actually useful.
You try multiple times, and every time it is corporeal, you try to open it again, and it immediately turns incorporeal again.
I swear these authors with these books, it's like they don't want to be read. Maybe this was a cash grab.
Do I know the author?
Well, you can make them think you know.
This seems relatively important. If I play my cards right, this can work very well in my favor. I won't do anything along the lines of that just yet. I'm sure there's something more interesting I can tie myself to.
Hey, you can try if you want.
What would you like me to roll?
Let's see, you had reflected glory. That you could use that again, and you had as your mind-bending move. You only had illusionist, right? Yeah, that's not really. I think the only one that would work from your specific moves is the one from your playbook.
Reflected glory. Okay.
Excuse me.
No problems.
So that would be your reflected glory. And I don't know. Yeah, with basic moves, you don't really have anything that helps with this.
Right.
So it would only one would be reflected glory.
Okay. 9.
You may choose one. On a hit, people believe you played a role in, are close to, or are otherwise connected to the thing. And you may choose one of the things.
Yeah, I think this time I'm gonna leverage my new reputation into an advantage on a single purchase roll.
Yeah, the purchase order is when you fill in a purchase order for something, you can roll bureaucracy on a 10 plus all 3, on the 7 to 9 choose 2. If you want to get something for your class, for your next lesson, stuff like that.
Okay. I wouldn't be able to use it for something like this?
Well, when you fill in a purchase order for something, and you get a +1 against towards it, right?
Yes.
What was it? You can leverage your new reputation into advantage on a single purchase order roll. Well, if you roll good for it, you have one of the 3 choices. Is you get exactly what you asked for. So if there is something that you might want to ask for, that you might be able to purchase, you can use it. And you will get it.
I'm going to stand up and I kind of look over to Flipa and I go, try to get this book to actually physically be here for us to look through. But I think I have an idea. And I kind of like get up and walk over to one of the library clerks. And I just go, "Good afternoon. I know that we have quite a very wide selection of different types of books here, but I was unable to come across something more specific to what it is that I'm looking for. I need something in relation to incorporeal beings that are more malignant in type."
Are you sure it's an incorporeal being?
From what my research has shown me so far, yes.
What do you have up till now?
Well,
Maybe I can help you then.
what exactly I was looking for has something within it. Something that doesn't necessarily make the most sense. And it's emitting a dark type of magic. I wasn't able to find anything within the tomes that speaks in relation to dark beings as opposed to just regular.
Okay, roll the purchase order.
Okay.
Roll plus bureaucracy.
Okay. And that gives me advantage.
Yes, so that's 3 dice and take the highest 2.
Cool. Oh, perfect. That's an 11.
Then you may have all 3, so you don't need to offer anything in exchange. You get exactly what you asked for, and you get it right now.
Perfect.
He looks at you and is like, "Can I maybe see some of the things you've already researched? What is it about? It might be able to help you better."
Well, I kind of gesture over to the table. There's like stacks of books, and Philippa's like poking at the one. I'm like, we've gotten to a point here where it stops. We've found a book on incorporeal beings. My colleague is in the middle of deciphering that as well. But like I said, I think
Smith did have a drawing of the amulet, or a picture of the amulet, so he did found that symbol of it. If you've seen the last VOD, you knew it. But
yeah, so I kind of
so you could show that.
show it. Yeah, I'm like, this is what it looks like. There's something pouring out of this.
You see his eyes grow really big. Where did you find that?
That's what I'm trying.
While this is happening, Smith comes back in.
Guys, how are you getting on? I've had an idea as I was walking down the road.
Yeah.
That is a amulet that holds a darkness that's even older than the entire planet.
I stop as I'm walking
planet,
in.
you say?
Look at this guy. Yeah. Hi, Philippa. Hi, Kat. What did he just say?
And he takes he's going back. He walks through a bookcase. Kat, you recognize it, of course, as a same kind of portal as you use for your department, but the others, they just see him and they're like, there's nothing here. And then he comes back with a pretty big and very old book with a few locks on it. He takes 3 keys, uses them on the book, and he opens it and shows you a very ancient evil. What would be the name of this ancient evil?
Ginstap, something. I don't know. Just yeah.
Can't stop.
Ginstap. Ginstap, something.
Can't stop.
The World Eater, maybe?
I'm almost thinking of can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
Can't stop. Dick.
I was thinking that too.
Won't stop.
Ginstap.
World Eaters? Yeah, that's something. Or Plane Eater?
I don't know, something real like over the top and overly dramatic sounding that like would have been cool when you were 13, but now is just like, oh my god. Like,
It's the biggest darkness of biggest evil of all, and his name is Bob.
Bob, that evil son of a bitch.
Ginstap, the fountain of darkness.
yeah. Just something that's like really like edgelordy, but like
Yeah.
completely serious.
Right. Yeah.
While
consuming planes or something.
yeah.
Ginstap, World Eater, Fountain of Darkness, and Consumer of the Plains, or some.
Yeah. It's that, isn't it? It's a big long.
Honestly, it's a big long, just like lines just of their name, also known as.
We could like have first of his name or something like that.
Devourer of Light.
Yeah.
Yes.
His name.
While
Devourer of Realms.
Extinguisher of stars. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on and on. Ding, 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 ding.
Right.
Of the stars.
Soul Eater, like.
Yeah.
While the clerk is away, before he comes back with that big book, I say to Kat and to Philippa, I'm looking there and I've said, I've just had an idea. Sadhu didn't have this amulet when I started here, and that means he got it while he was here, which means he must have been
Kat,
on.
You remember also when you started here a year later, he also still did not have that amulet.
Yeah, he didn't have it when I started either, now that I think of it. So that means that during both of our time here, he must have come across it.
What about you, Philippa? Do you remember him having it?
Yes.
So, I think he's always had it.
Aye. Well, depending on what this guy brings back, you looked a wee bit peaky when you mentioned it. I'm thinking maybe we could actually get into the records and see what field trips he's done. Maybe he's actually been somewhere to get this. Maybe we could find out. If we find out where it's from, then that might help us.
Yeah?
Dr. Evan, he really... Something tells me that this was here the whole time and it was just found.
Oh,
There's
know what?
only one person in this school that might know where the origin of this creature.
the Clark saying that?
But nobody likes to talk with him because of his absentness and everything. But yeah, it's the dean.
I just had an idea. We might have to speak to the dean.
Okay.
We should probably round up some corgis.
And I think Kat just like rubs a spot in between her eyebrows, and it's just like,
So then I guess the guy comes back at this point, right, as we're sort of thinking about that, because it was just sort of looking at the guy walking back out through the bookcase, and I'm just like, what? And then because we're able to find corridors where there aren't corridors. Maybe we could actually. Can you get us into the dean's office? I say to Kat. Can you make us walk through walls? What?
You don't remember walking through that wall or anything.
Oh, right, okay. But I watched that guy appearing.
You just saw him disappear and just reappear, but you don't know where.
Okay. Right, okay.
It's the same kind of magic that happened at mind bending.
Very slippery. Doesn't quite. Okay.
I don't know if you've watched Torchwood, but you don't see what happens in the corner of your eye.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, in that case, we'll have to get some corgis. Here comes that guy back again. Look at this. Look at that book he's got.
No, he was already back. He told you that to talk to the dean.
Oh, I'm definitely losing my mind then.
Yeah. It's probably the stress.
There wasn't a lot to lose for you, but...
Yeah, well, aye, that's true. Who said that? Well, we're going to have to go get the dean.
You look next to you, lower, and you see your colleague. Garland 3-piece.
Hey, how's it going, pal? Are you alright?
Oh, you're talking to me? I thought you were talking to a pal, and I'm not your pal.
Aye. What have you been up to then? Who have you managed to destroy the life? How's the research going?
Going good. At least I'm doing research.
I'm doing research. Just listen, I'm onto something big, so don't worry about it. I'd like to introduce you to, well, this is
I understand.
And
these two are on something big, and you're just piggybacking on them, aren't you? As always.
No. Listen, my research is exemplary. Every piece I've had published has been of the highest recognition. I have successfully managed to pull my individual criteria up, and the dean himself says that he couldn't run this place without me. So just 3-piece yourself back to whichever sofa you crawled out of, will you? Aye. So what have you been writing anyway?
None of your business. Because I know you will try to work your way into doing it. I know Dr. Wilson does a lot of work, and of course everybody knows Catalea Zeno. I mean, she does a lot.
It's true.
You probably mind-bended this guy like 1,000,000 times.
At least 4. I speak so highly of me. Always a pleasure.
3-piece. Listen, I think it's probably important that you know this. I find it's a bit of a difficulty to tell you, but I had a premonition. It was one of those, you know, the real basic ones, and it involved you. And unfortunately, I hate to tell you this, but you left your bath on. And if you're not able to get back to it very soon, you're going to end up flooding your entire room. So I just thought I might put that out there. It was due to happen in about 20 minutes or so. So yeah.
Is this a move?
Can it be? Yes. I'd love it to be a move. Have I got anything that can do that? I was just being an arse, basically.
The moves you have are Fate Spinner and fate spinner, I believe might be. When you meddle with someone's destiny, enact the correct ritual and roll bureaucracy. Oh no, that's no, you don't
right
really have a
there.
move for that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to just get him out of my out of my knee, I guess, because he's not very
So
tall.
I have a question. Because
Yeah.
standing right next to a mindbender who specifically has the ability to warp people's perceptions, can I do it for you?
So yeah, I'd be talking away and just try. I'm basically just talking shite. That's basically all I'm doing. So I'm not actually aware of anything. So yeah,
I would almost say that for you, Smith, it would be or smooth or scathe, but you're not giving a piece of your mind, but you are telling me what you think they want to hear.
yeah. Well, and I would like them to flee my presence because, yeah, 3 pieces is a piece of work. So, scathe might be one.
Scathe, yeah, then roll plus charisma.
Okay. So that's all right for me. My previous 2 dice are in the dice jail of my choosing.
You don't roll with advantage or disadvantage, so you just use 2.
Just used to. I've got my. Well, that was better than last time. 7 total.
A 7. The target of your ire still has to choose 1, but someone important witnesses or learns of your rudeness. They're not pleased. So, I would say flees your presence because of this.
Mm-hmm.
But who do you say witnesses and learns of your rudeness?
I mean, well, I feel like Kat doesn't know me quite as well as perhaps Philippa, who knows what I'm like. So maybe Kat kind of just sees that side of Jonas that just doesn't, she's not seen yet, and it's just like he's just being a bit of an arse and abusing his powers.
Yeah, and you are not pleased.
No, you could really
Okay.
be a lot nicer to him. It's not all that bad, actually.
He's a self-sanctimonious. He just loves to rub everybody's noses in it because his nose is so close to the ground. He's awful. He continually tries to belittle people, and he's a bully, which is interesting because he's actually
Little.
yeah. What he makes up for, he doesn't have the physical presence, so maybe he's even part of Mindbender. I don't know. He doesn't create a very nice working environment. That's all I'm saying. It's better that he's not here. He would just be getting in the way of our work.
In the interest of continuing to have a work environment, shall we go and see the Dean?
Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. Let's go.
And not antagonizing further members of departments.
He deserves it, but I maybe
I
you're
mean,
right.
probably. But
I'll try and be
I
nice
No
to
idea
him.
how funny that size joke was, because it is a gnome.
I'll try and be nicer to him the next time I see him. I promise. I'll even, and then I make a mental note that when I go back, I'm going to do a ritual to try and make at some point make him forget that he's on his bath, so it actually floods.
Yeah,
but
so
that's
you
the-
are now.
That's funny.
You're going to try to do Fate Spinner.
At some point like once we've finished talking to I'm going to do that later on at night. But I'll write it down.
Yeah, it's week. It's the end of the week, so the weekend is starting, so you can do that in the weekend.
Okay, cool. Right, mental note and written
Yeah.
down.
Mental.
Write it down.
Okay, so so I'm like, okay. Let's
So
go.
you guys are going to the Dean.
yeah.
With a little luck, you do find his office again, because as you know from last time, his office tends to change locations on the college property. So you now know where it is, you find it, and you get there. You're standing in front of the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock on the door.
Who's there?
Philippa, Professor Philippa Wilson, Headmaster. May we come in?
You were again?
I work in the Department of Paraveterinary Medicine.
Oh, yeah, the pet keeper. Yeah, come in.
There may be a slight, flicker of offense across Philippa's face when he says pet medicine. And then we just kind of, go in, I guess.
As soon as you come in, I did something that you might like. I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know.
So we can now order livestock on Amazon. Interesting.
I mean, we place several bulk orders every week. Gotta keep the animals fed. It's the most economical way since our budget was cut.
That's
is the budget cut?
Something
My
about
vending
too many
department never
student
has that
deaths.
problem. You know
What can I help you with?
I think we were here, not that long ago, chatting about Professor Zardu and his amulet. You told us to go and investigate. Yeah. And we've got.
Did you do anything about those shady trees? Because I still do not trust them.
No, and Philippa kind of walks over to the window and looks out of it. It's no, I haven't yet, but they do appear to have moved. And then just kind of casually strolls back. What do you guys reckon? Do you reckon they've moved? Jonas?
Well, I've got a little bit of a theory principle, and we're currently investigating it. It's the squirrels.
The squirrels?
Aye.
This sounds a bit nuts.
I see what you did there. That's very funny. Dean, you are indeed a master of humour. Thank you for delighting us with that. But yes, the actual squirrels in the trees are having a dark impact upon the trees. We think that they may be the culprits. So yeah, but we'll keep you informed about how that goes. But maybe just keep an eye out for those squirrels.
What squirrels? And if everyone looks out over into the window, that tree is gone.
Well, the trees aren't there because now his office is on the other side of the school where the forest isn't in view.
Look at that.
But, well... Oh yeah, I think something's starting to come back to me. You were researching that amulet thingamajig of... what's his name?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. We believe that it will place the corgis at great risk if it continues.
Wait, what? No, not my corgis.
Yeah, the first ones that they will attack is all the corgis on campus.
All my corgis?
Oh,
The last one.
I've
Which is
foreseen
why
it.
it is imperative that you assist us in this next task. We desperately would do anything that is necessary to save your beloved corgis, but we need a little bit of extra help from you, Headmaster.
And what do you need help about?
And I just kind of gesture over to Lippa to explain.
Oh, we've discovered what was contained within the amulet.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's apparently older than the planet.
Oh, that's ancient.
Yes. And it's like a devourer of worlds, eater of planes, and all of that sort of stuff. I believe its name started with a G. Jonas, do you remember the exact name?
And I kind of look over at Jonas.
And Jonas looks at her and says, "Oh, guys, stop."
Again, stop.
And suddenly you see the Dean change his entire posture. You're not talking about Gensstop, first of his name, Devourer of Realms, Extinguisher of Stars, and all that crap he has on his name?
Yes, that guy.
Yes.
That's him.
I wouldn't have thought he would escape that amulet, let alone be found.
So you're aware of the amulet. So here's my thing. The person who currently has the amulet around their neck, from Professor Smith's tenure here and from mine as well, when we started, he did not have that amulet. And now he does. So we're here trying to see whether or not you're aware of any trips of which that he could have went on that could have given
Who
him
has the
this
amulet?
amulet.
Sadhu.
Who has it then?
Department head Sadhu.
Oh, I told him not to go to that temple.
What temple?
It was a temple in Europe. I trapped that being. I think it was about 6,000 years.
What?
Interest.
Oh, yeah, he didn't know. I tried to keep that on the down low, and that's why I act the way I do.
What?
I'm immortal.
That explains the slightly complex. You're immortal, so you can't die.
That's what
That wasn't
immortal means,
obvious.
yeah.
I'm just processing that.
I can't die. I'm not invincible. I'm just immortal.
That wasn't
Probably
apparent
shouldn't
to-
tell too many people that.
I thought that was common knowledge. That wasn't apparent to you.
Well,
I've, in my time studying as I have, I've come across a few in my life. I think I was able to pick up on a few key details. I keep
And
forgetting
you-
that that's not very apparent to everyone else.
It was the love
I
of corgis,
apologize.
wasn't it?
And you get in your head, Cat. I know you're full of bullshit. Just don't try it with me.
And I think just like this really smug, smarmy ass smile just appears across her face, but she doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and you're the only one that heard that. The others have no idea.
so you're saying that you've been alive not just for hundreds of years, which is what I had assumed, and I thought that might have been down to you finding the secret elixir, or maybe a particular box that was able to make you look like you're the undead. But you are actually thousands. No, let me say that again. Thousands. It still doesn't sound right. Thousands of years old.
Let's
Work
just
at a
say,
school full of magical artifacts. Is that
let's
really
just say,
describing?
Adam and Eve is just a weird story. It was evolution. I've seen it.
Oh.
Okay.
That's probably something you should keep to yourself.
Oh, I never told anyone except you now.
I
So,
know that magic is relatively new in the world, and that we've
No, it's
only
not.
come to it. No, wait, what?
It is not.
It's not new.
Well, it's only just
It's
started.
been there all along. It was just very long a secret for you guys.
Magic has been around since the dawn of time.
Even longer than that.
This
okay,
entire world's existence.
as fun as like the theoretical arguments are about how long magic's been alive, can we like focus on the fact that something is trying to blow up the school? And that a terrible world eater has been released, potentially.
Yeah, he's also as old as magic.
Yeah.
So, Headmaster, if you were able to capture this being in this amulet all of those years ago, then certainly you would know a way to either entrap it in something else, get rid of it completely, send it back to its ethereal plane.
Well, I thought
Any
I
help would
trapped
be-
him in this container, but we need to find a new one, a stronger one, a better one.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, this one lasted 6,000 years, and I will be long gone before, if we trap him in another one, that would happen again. So,
You will be gone, yeah.
oh yeah, that'd be you again too. Yeah, so maybe something a little bit stronger then, or more definitive.
I
How
think
do you
I
kill
have an
someone?
idea,
Older than
but
time.
will not be easy to find. And you will need the help of your colleague. Where is he actually? You know, what was his name again? I always forget him.
Dr. Evans is
Dr. Evans.
in.
Oh, him, yeah, that one.
He's
He
currently
might
in the
know where it
library.
is.
Okay. So
I-
to Dr. Evans
Because
then.
I think the only thing that could defeat it might be Excalibur.
What?
Excalibur has been found for hundreds of years. I was almost sure it was a myth at some point in time, but it has not been. My studies have shown that it is not exactly a myth. It's a fact, but still has not been found.
And
or
again,
been
in your
put
head, stop with that bullshit. You haven't studied that.
Like I was saying, hundreds of years.
It's, as you know, all myths start with a flicker of truth.
True.
So
Very
you're
true.
saying that there's a sword that is in a rock that only.
Oh, it's not in a rock anymore. It has been pulled out of that rock years ago.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in a lake.
Yeah. That was before it was in the rock.
You've got it in your bedroom,
Since it's been
haven't
pulled
you?
from the rock, we
No,
haven't seen.
it's still in England.
Are we going on a field trip? That's what I'm
I
hearing.
have an idea.
And you might need to go there, yeah.
Dean.
Yeah?
So, firstly, you've told me that you've been around since magic and this thing. Are you able to?
Well, since the beginning of humans.
Oh, okay. Are you able to then make us forgo the necessary arduous task of going to airports and standing in queues and getting passport? Are you actually suitably?
Seriously? Are you really that stupid? You have magic!
Yeah, I do. I mean, my magic's more in the line of being able to look to see how long it takes us to get there, but,
And you see him disappear, and you feel someone tapping on the back of your shoulder.
See,
and you see the dean standing behind you.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can do that too. It's Magic 101.
You do learn apparition in your first year. And Kat has her metal balls again, is just kind of like mulling over, and it's like, Dr. Jiren Maxwell. I may have an acquaintance that could help us a bit. Someone who's very well versed in the lore of Excalibur, just exclusively. If there's anyone who would probably have a better idea of where Excalibur is now,
You could just ask Merlin.
Me and Merlin don't.
You don't know Merlin.
No, I do.
Not personally.
Whether I don't know Merlin personally. Not.
I know you're trying to say you do, but you don't. He's still in England. I've met him in the Middle Ages.
Oh.
Jonas is looking out the window, and he listens to this exchange. So right, maybe I wasn't paying attention, and I've kind of been a bit siloed in my research, but you're basically telling me that in order for us to have the ability to get the darkness beyond darkness, the Eater of Realms, the Devourer of Light, and the Extinguisher of all souls back into the little amulet around Prof. Sadhu's neck.
Oh, no, that doesn't work now. We already know this. That only holds him for like 6,000 years.
Well, then that means you're actually asking us to, what, extinguish this thing?
Yeah. Is that so much to ask?
I definitely think it is, yeah.
I'm just asking you to kill an ancient old being.
One that even you weren't able to kill. Headmaster.
At that time, we didn't have Excalibur. Miss Cat.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
I prefer Doctor, but that's fine.
Right. Shall we... I guess we're going to England then.
Aye.
To Merlin.
To see where... Now, I know I work at a school with magic, and there's centaurs and orcs and gnomes and all manner of strange beasties going around the place that might or may not at any point kill us. But there are a few facts I've learned today that have kind of rocked my world, I have to say, and I find it all to be a little bit stressful, if I'm perfectly honest. This isn't the kind of work-life balance that I had signed up for. And in terms of working conditions and the pay that we get, I just think that, well, going up against an ancient force of pre-magic darkness is a little bit more than I'd been signed up for. But equally, shit.
That's just a typical Tuesday.
Darling Jonas,
It's Friday.
history is rarely made by those who take small risks.
I'm all in favour of taking no risks and letting history sort out itself.
Well, we understand that, and you see where that has gotten you as of recently, so maybe think of it this way. If you input as much effort as you do into relaxing, as we are doing with this, the closer we get this done, the faster we get this finished, the faster it is that you get to get back to your big comfy chair and sit back with your heels up and twiddle your thumbs until our next paycheck. Sound fair? Little bit of effort now for long-term ease.
Oh,
You know what? Roll a skate.
Me? Okay.
Because you are giving your peace of mind to him, so...
Oh, yeah. That's a 12.
oh.
Poor Jonas.
Okay, Smith, choose one of the three.
So I have to give Kat something that I think she wants.
Give you something they think you want. Cringe or cower, flee your presence, or give you something they think you want.
I'm not gonna cringe or cower. I'm not gonna flee, run away. I think at that point, yeah, my mind is kind of snapped, broken. My worldview temporarily takes a jump to the left and runs out screaming, maybe, but I don't, and I stand there because running's far too much like hard work. And you can just see my brain, just sort of like that, and my mouth's open a little bit, and a little bit of drool just begins to slide down my mouth, the side of my mouth, and I'm just like, what? Right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to England, find Merlin, get the sword, and sort out this big mess, and then after that we can just get down to the pub and have a pint.
Exactly.
Aye, alright then.
Perfect.
While all this has been going on, Philippa has not been paying attention to whatever you guys have been doing. She's just been writing lists of all the stuff that needs to happen while they're away. And making sure that all of
Such
that
a
stuff is,
workhorse kind of thing to do.
covered.
Oh,
She's just
I love it.
all right, we're going to England. It's going to be God knows how long we're going to be here. What needs to be fed in my department? What are the care requirements of some of the animals in my care? What teaching assignments need to be done? Just all of that. So yeah, she's just has no idea that this drama's just occurred between the two of you. She's just there notepad flying, pen flying across a notepad, just taking notes and making note about what needs to happen.
Why do I have a feeling there is a move for the workhorse to do this?
I mean, I technically had taken, the roll your eyes and this is my life now.
When you react to something ridiculous, over the top, mind-rending, or appalling by rolling your eyes and getting on with things, choose up to 1. You may choose up to one of these, yeah. So, well, there is only one NPC here. So if it's about a nearby NPC, it will be the Dean.
I'm hoping it's they're impressed by your calm and form a good opinion of you. I feel like that's probably the only one that really fits in with the rest of it. Which, considering that I got told off earlier a couple of sessions ago for like the number of dead students in my department, might actually be helpful at some point.
Well, you are working on your list and everything, and the dean is looking at you and he's like, wow.
Cool. Alright.
So,
I'm just, yeah, I legitimately have no idea what's happening beyond this list at this point.
then, yeah, that's, you know what you need to do. And I think this is a good point to end this session.
Yeah. With Jonas just kind of sucking the drool back up the side of his mouth and just going, like, yeah, just staring at Kat and staring at the dean, staring at Philippa, and then looking out the window and shaking his head. Yeah, yeah, we're going to England.
I think you just see, like, Kat roll her eyes for a bit and then, like, snap both of her balls back into one and then slide it back into her coat pocket. It's just like, to England.